Good morning, my dear students. Today in DP, we are going to start a new chapter, that is Federalism. Children, the vertical division of power among different levels of government is one of the major forms of power sharing in the modern democracies. It is the most commonly regarded as federalism. In this chapter, we are going to understand the theory and the practice of federalism in India. Now, first, what is the meaning of federalism? Federalism is a system of government under which power is divided between central authority and its various constituent units. The various constituent units and the central authority run their administration independently and do not interfere unnecessarily in the affairs of one another. That means it is a system of government in which the power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. Children, federalism can be understood as vertical division of power across different levels of the government. The nature of federalism may vary from country to country depending upon the historical context in which federalism has evolved. Usually, a federation has two levels of government. One is the government for the entire country that is usually responsible for a few subjects of common national interest. The other are governments at the level of provinces or states that look after much of day-to-day administration of their state. Both these levels of the government enjoy their independent powers, or they enjoy their powers independent of other. In this sense, federation are contrasted with unitary government. Under the unitary system, either there is only one level of government or the subunits are subordinate to the central government. The central government can pass orders to the provincial or the local government, but in the federal system, the central government cannot order the state government to do something. State government has power of its own for which it is not answerable to the central government. Once again, see the unitary system. In this form of administration, there is only one level of government. If there are more subunits, they are subordinates to the central government, and central government can passes orders to the other level of government. Other level of government are subordinate to the central government. For example, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has unitary system of government. Now children, let's start with the key features of federalism. First one, there are two or more levels or tiers of government. Children, this means federalism is a system of government in which the governmental power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units. Usually, a federation has two levels of government. One is the government for the entire country, like we have a national government, and the other government is at the state or a provincial government, like we have a state government, Rajasthan state government. Now the second one, different tiers of government governs the same citizen, but each tier has its own jurisdiction in specific matter of legislation, taxation and administration. Now children, what is the meaning of jurisdiction? Jurisdiction means the official power to make legal decision and judgment, the area over which the government has legal authority. All level of the governance will govern the same citizen, but the jurisdiction will be different. This means that each level of government will have a specific power to form laws, legislate and execute these laws. Both of the government will have clearly marked jurisdictions. It will not be that one of the government is just a figurehead government. Now the next feature, the jurisdiction of the respective level of government are specified in the Constitution. So the existence and the authority of each tier of the government is constitutionally guaranteed, which means the power and the duties of both or all the government must be listed down in the Constitution, hence guaranteeing a federal system of governance. Now, the next feature is the fundamental provision of Constitution cannot be unilaterally changed by one level of government. Such changes require the consent of both the level of the government. Children, in federal form of government, one level of government cannot make unilateral changes or amendment to the important and essential provisions of Constitution. Such changes must be approved by all the level of the government, which means the fundamental provisions of the Constitution can be changed only with the consent of both the state and the central government. Now the next feature, court have the power to interpret the Constitution and the power of different level of government. The highest court act as an umpire if disputes arises between different levels of government in the exercise of their respective powers. Children, there are two or more level of government with the separate jurisdiction, with the separate duties, yet there is still a possibility that a conflict may arise between the different level of the government in the exercise of their respective powers. In a federal state, it will fall upon the court or rather the judiciary to resolve this conflict. The court have the power to interfere in such a situation and reach to a solution. If there is any dispute between central and the state government, Supreme Court plays a very important role as a middleman to resolve the disputes. Now the next feature, source of revenue for each level of government are clearly specified to ensure its financial autonomy. Children, while there is a power sharing between the two levels of government, there should also be a system for the revenue sharing. Both the level of government should have their own autonomous revenue stream, because if one such government depend on the other for funds to carry out its function, it really is not autonomous in its true nature. So, for the smooth functioning of both the government, revenue for each level of the government are to be clearly specified. Children, the financial powers of center and the state has been clearly mentioned in the Constitution. Income tax, excise duty, corporation tax, etc. are levied and collected by the central government, whereas land revenue, stamp duty, building tax, etc. comes under the state government. Now, The final feature of the federalism is that the federal system has dual objective. First, it safeguards and promotes the unity of country. Second, it accommodates the regional diversity. Children, the federalism aims to maintain its independence and sovereignty, safeguard security and stability. It exercises the different powers to defend its existence or the existence of its member from any act of aggression and protect the rights and responsibility of the people of the federation. Children, therefore, two aspects are crucial for the institution and practice of federalism. Governments at different levels should agree to some rules of power sharing. They should also trust that each would abide by its part of agreement. An ideal federal system has both aspects, mutual trust and agreement to live together. Now children, we will see the different types of federation. Children, the exact balance of power between the central and the state government varies from one federation to another. This balance depends mainly on the historical context in which the federation was formed. There are two types of federation. They are coming together and holding together. The first route involves independent states coming together on their own to form a bigger unit, so that by pooling their sovereignty and retaining identity, they can increase their security. This type of coming together federation includes USA, Switzerland and Australia. In this federation, all the constituent units or states usually have equal powers and are equally strong. Children, is it clear what is coming together federalism or federation? In coming together federation, independent states come together and form a bigger unit. It helps to maintain security and sovereignty. For example, USA, Switzerland and Australia. Now, the second route is where a large country decides to divide its power between the constituent states and the national government. For example, India, Spain and Belgium. They have holding together federalism or federation. In this, the central government tend to be more powerful than the states. Very often, different constituent units of federation have unequal power. Some units are granted special powers. Once again, I am repeating holding together. In this, country is divided into state for better administration. It helps for the accommodation of diversity. Some states might be given more power. The ultimate power lies in the hands of central government. Examples are India, Spain, Belgium. Children, that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.